Hey, Donnie Smith here, and welcome to my DIY auto body and paint channel. On this channel, you're going to learn about painting cars, doing body repair, plastic repair, doing some bed liner. We do installations, just a whole lot of stuff. So if you haven't subscribed to me, be sure and check out my YouTube channel and hit the subscribe button. I'd appreciate it. In this video, we're going to do some fiberglass repair on a jet boat, on the floor of a jet boat. There's some places where the seat bolted on that's really weak because it used to have the wood under there. And I guess they built them out of wood, then put a thin coat of fiberglass. But the fiberglass is real thin and not very strong, and the wood underneath it has kind of softened up and rotted some. So I'm just going to build that up with some fiberglass, make it nice and strong. And there's also a couple parts where it's splitting, where it kind of came apart. We're going to show you how to fix that. So sit back just for a few minutes and let's get started. So before we jump in to start grinding and sanding and getting ready to do the fiberglass repairs, we want to clean this real good. And what we're doing, we just went and got some degreaser, and we're just spraying that in there, and we're going to let it set about 5 minutes just to help loosen up that grease. I mean, the engine's been in here, you know, it's got oil, all kinds of contaminants, so we want to make sure that we are working on a clean surface. So we sprayed it with the degreaser, let it set for a little bit, and then we got a pressure washer and rinsed it out real good. And if you don't have a pressure washer, you could go to the car wash, or you could use just a water hose too with a nozzle on there. It wouldn't do quite as good as this pressure washer, but you can just see all the grease and grime that's getting out of there. And then we're going to allow it to dry really good, and then we can begin sanding. And what I'm doing, I'm just using some 80 grit on a DA just to help, you know, there was some glue to some carpet, it looks like. Just to help rough it up too, because anywhere we're going to put the fiberglass resin and fiberglass, we want it to be roughed up with at least 80 grit. So I'm just going over the entire surface here with 80 grit that may have some fiberglass and resin. If you think that it may have some on there, just go ahead and sand it. You don't want that fiberglass and resin landing on areas that has not been sanded. So I use some 80 grit on a DA sander and just going around it, getting it roughed up. And also notice when sanding fiberglass, I've got gloves, I've got a suit on, a respirator, because man, this stuff will get all over. And you can kind of see some of the repairs right there on the edge just by sanding a little bit. I mean, it's sanded through. This fiberglass was super thin. Now I think originally there was wood under here, and then they just put a thin layer of fiberglass. But I'm just going to build it up with fiberglass. I'm not going to tear that all apart, rebuild the wood, and do the fiberglass. But I'm just going to put probably 4, 5, 6 layers of fiberglass rather than having the wood under there for my strength. And also notice, you don't want no loose fiberglass. I'm going around these cracked areas and where the holes are at. And I'm grinding those down where there's not just a bunch of loose fiberglass hanging there. I want to build it up with some new fiberglass. And if I left the old fiberglass there, it might just crack again. So that's what I'm doing here is I'm getting the grinder and taking anything real loose off so that when I go to put the fiberglass down, it can, you know, build a new foundation for it. But yeah, you really want to protect yourself when using this fiberglass. It's you know, not only does it itch, it's just not healthy for you. You know, you shouldn't be breathing this dust. And that's when you got to watch out for it, is whenever you're sanding. You know, you get those tiny particles and that can get in your skin, and that's what itches you, like if you ever put house insulation in or anything like that. So anyway, I've got all my grinding done and sanding done, and I vacuumed it out so that I can apply the resin and fiberglass. And this is the fiberglass right here. And it just comes in a, you know, you don't have to buy this much of it. I'm going to be using quite a bit. You can buy smaller amounts, but it's just a cloth, you know, a fiberglass cloth, and you cut out what you need. For example, the first coat I'm just going to put on the repair areas, like where that split's at, where the holes are at, and those areas that was cracking and splitting. So I'm just going to cut up a bunch of squares at first just to fill those areas, and then I'll come back and do something a little bit different on the second coat. And it's a good idea to go ahead and have everything pre-cut so you know what you're going to be using, because the resin, you've only got so long to work with it. You know, after about seems like about 15 minutes, it starts getting a little bit hard to work with. So you kind of want to have everything ready to go, have all your patches cut, your repair fiberglass cut, and then it'll go by pretty fast, and when you have all that organized. So I've got everything laid out here, and now what I'm going to do is get this out of the way and put some resin down. So I'm going to have to move all those fiberglass patches, and the first thing you want to put down is resin. Now this resin mixes, per 1 ounce of resin, you mix 10 drops of liquid hardener. So you measure out how many ounces you need, like I'm using a measuring cup here, mix up so many ounces, and then put 10 drops of this liquid hardener per ounce. And it takes a while to measure out if you're mixing up a whole bunch, but that's the mixing ratio to this resin. And then of course you want to stir it up real good and then get it ready to brush on. We're going to brush it onto the surface that we're repairing. So anywhere that we are going to apply fiberglass, these patches, we want it wet underneath it with this resin. So I'm just going around the holes in the repair areas that I'm working on, just making sure it's nice and wet before I apply the fiberglass. One thing about fiberglass is that you really want everything saturated. You don't want to, skip out on using resin, even if you have to use more than you was intending, because you want it really saturated. When I go to put that fiberglass on, I'm going to put it on there, and you want to saturate it. You want to layer it in layers of resin. So anyway, I'm just going around all the repair areas here, getting it all ready. And once I have it anywhere that I think that I may get one of the patches on, once I have resin on it, I can start applying the patches. And I'm just going to lay them on there for now. You got to be careful with this, because if you can pull this stuff apart, or if you try to brush it, it'll brush apart. So you want to be careful with the way you apply it, or it might, fuzz up and go all over. So sped it up there for a little bit. So anyway, I've just about got it all on, and once I've kind of got it stuck down, I'm going to get the brush. I'm going to start applying more. Now notice I'm not just brushing it like I would, painting something with strokes, because like I mentioned, if you do, that stuff's going to go everywhere. So I'm just kind of dabbing it on there, trying to push the fiberglass down to make sure there's a good seal, because that's another thing you don't want, is you don't want any air pockets in between the substrate that you're working on and the fiberglass. So you want to be able to push that down and apply a lot of resin. You want that saturated. So I'll sped it up a little bit again, and I've got it pretty well covered now. And the next thing I'll do, I'm just getting those edges in real good. So once I got it fairly good, this is a fiberglass roller, and this just helps push it down good and hard against the surface so that there's no air bubbles. And if you see any place that kind of looks like it's a little bit dry, like right there looks a little bit dry, I'm going to add some more and give it that saturated look. So I've got some more applied, and just using this roller to go all around anywhere I put the fiberglass to push it down, make sure there's no air bubbles. And I'm just going to kind of speed it up a little bit again, just to spare you the boredom of watching me. So anyway, I put that all on. I let that dry for about 30 minutes, let it set up, and now I'm going to apply another coat of fiberglass. Now again, you want to make sure that you go all around. I'm going to extend this quite a bit. It's not just going to be the patch areas, but it's going to be large areas that I'm going to fiberglass this time. So I want to make sure that resin is everywhere that I'm going to apply that fiberglass. So I'm going around the area again with the fiberglass resin, and then I will I've already cut the patches up, and I'll put those on. And with this time, I'm going to layer this back and forth the direction I'm going. This is for that crack in the back, but I didn't think I could do that whole square at one time, so I kind of sectioned it a little bit. Now this patch, it's pretty easy. It's just goes from the front to the back, so I'll just do the same thing to this every time, as far as the size and the direction and everything. So again, saturate that really good. I just can't mention that enough, because if you don't, that fiberglass is not going to get hard the way it's supposed to. And you may even have to. I had a crease in here that the roller wasn't even pushing down too good, so I just got a piece of cardboard that I had, just to help push that down, just to make sure there's no air bubbles in there. So I got that all pushed down. And got that section done. And I usually just do one section at a time. And notice I'm going from front to back with this. Next layer I'm going to go from side to side. But I was afraid that the corners would be too hard to lay down if I tried to do it all at one time. So I'm getting it positioned to where I want, and kind of push it down. Once I get it pushed down, I can start applying more resin. And I don't know if you noticed that on my glove, but you got to be careful, because once you start working with this resin, it's kind of sticky. You know, you're going to be sticky. So anyway, sped it up again, got the top surface done, and now I'm going to start working on the sides of getting that down. And again, you want to be sure and dab this stuff on it first. After it's dabbed on, you might can brush it a little bit, but if you just start out trying to brush, it's just going to get real fuzzy on you, and you're not going to be able to get it to lay down real good. And I tell you what, age sure does have telltales. I mean, bending over in this boat like this sure is a lot harder on me than it used to be. So anyway, got the first the repair layer down, and then I got a full layer down. I'm going to let that set up for 24 hours or so, and then I'm going to come back and show you what I'm going to do next. So we've got a couple layers on there, but I'm going to come back and put some more layers. And in the next video, I'm going to show you what I do to prepare that, get it ready, and get that where it's strong enough to support itself without that wood underneath it. Thanks for watching this video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down in the description. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, be sure and click the subscribe button. And thanks again for watching. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video. Hey, don't go nowhere. If you like this video, I got a couple more of them ready for you. Just click the video to get started. And if you're still there, what kind of car do the Cunninghams drive in the old show called Happy Days? Leave a comment below if you know.